Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. But definitely hit the like button and share the video. I hope that you all are having a good morning. Today is going to be a rest day for me, y'all. I am not going to do anything other than go to the gym, and I have decided to go ahead and just hire my personal trainer again for a few months to help me to get some of these pounds off that I've gained. Because a lot of times there are certain times that when my work pick up, my weight goes up because we're always stopping and eating out, you know, because we don't have time to do anything. We're out like we was out 24 hours the other night. So can you imagine, we was eating good and them pounds will pack on quick. So I'm gonna have to deal with that. So yeah, I'm gonna rest today to get my body back into balance, and then tomorrow I'm going to go and get everything situated with my personal trainer, and then probably Monday I'll um I'll start training again, probably 3 days a week, for a few months to get myself back right, child. But anyway, because when your body is right, your mind is better, right? Um, when I see I just feel better when I'm down to my regular size, right? But anyways, you guys, I just wanted to do a little chatter first before I went in on my topic, a little small talk. But anyways, this morning I wanted to talk about pre paper route empire. And there are other things that I'm going to talk about, y'all. But I think this with this young Dolph situation, I don't know. I don't know if it's the spirit of young Dolph or what, that um that kind of keeps me interested in this situation, because there haven't been a whole lot of celebrity cases other than like Lorenz and Wrights, um, that I've watched as closely as, and OJ Simpson, of course. And that's when I was way younger, that I've watched as close as I've watched Young Dolphs. And I think it's because of the dynamics of it. Just like Lorenz and Wright's case, I was working at the police department during that time, and um it was very interesting. I always knew that Lorenz and Wright would get justice, and it was because of how persistent his mother was. She never gave up. Um, and I feel the same way about Young Dolph's case. Young Dolph's case is moving at a different pace than Lorenzen's, because there was so many. There was quite a few people I'm hearing that was involved with this Young Dolph situation. Um, in the case of Lorenz and Rice, there were only a few people that knew what happened, and that was the perpetrators themselves, right? So they didn't necessarily tell on each other, I guess, until one got mad. Um, in this young Dawes case, I'm hearing this a little bit different, you know, because his murder was definitely a murder for hire. Um, and it's unfortunate. And as I think about young Dolph, I think about um, all that he was building. And as I was saying the other night, it's sad in our community how people will take you down if you dare to be great. In the Black community, I see everybody hijacking our communities. I don't have anything against the other communities, but I gotta say this because I'm a realist. I can't get on here, and just like I've done on my TV show for so many years, and not speak truth. I may as well not be here. That's why I have other means of making money, because I don't want to be. I don't want to get on. I don't want to make this be dependent on this, and then I have to get on here and make up stuff and um, just do anything to try to get views, right? So whatever I say, I'm gonna be spitting some facts. Okay, I'm gonna be spitting facts. I can't have these platforms and not at least try and educate the people that's willing to listen, right? But I see everybody hijacking our communities, and I think I've spoken about, and this is gonna get into what the paper route empire artists, how, because it goes into this. It's my segue, okay? I love going to New York City. It's one of my favorite places in the summertime to go and vacation. And it's because of number one, the hustle and bustle is very eclectic. And I like what I see as far as, I like going over to Little Italy. You have nothing but Italian restaurants, the Italian community. And Italian food is my favorite food. I love pastas. That's why I got to hire that personal trainer now. And but I like what they do with their community. You got the Jewish communities, they even got their own banks. You got the Asian communities, and they got their own bank, I do believe. I even like what the Africans do, you know. But in those communities, you see nothing but authentic Asian businesses, Italians. That's why it's called Little Italy, Chinatown. Um, the Jewish community, I forgot what that's called. And it's some more communities too. But when you go over to Harlem, you see, and that's the Black community. When you go over to, you got the Hispanic community, like Spanish Harlem, um, with nothing but authentic Hispanic stuff. But when you go to the Black side of Harlem, right, you see everybody else set up in our communities. You see the Asians sitting out there. You see everybody that's got their businesses in our communities the same way in America. We're the biggest um what's the word that I'm looking for? We're the biggest consumers as it relates to like a lot of these beauty supply stores, and they set up in our communities. And they don't give back to our communities. I just got to be real, they don't. So that means that they are hijacking our communities. They are bloodsuckers, a lot of these other communities. And I'm not trying to race bait or anything like that. I'm just being real about it. But the thing that I can respect about other races is that they don't allow other people, especially not us. They're not going to allow us to come in and hijack their communities. But everybody is allowed to come in and hijack our communities, because if we're going to be the biggest consumers of these beauty supply stores, we should own them if they're going to be in our damn hoods. Okay? We should own them. But anytime you've seen a Black person try and um, start a beauty supply business, they don't really get a lot of support, because for some reason Black people don't really respect other Black businesses. They'll go into somebody else's business and they want to prove that they got the money, and they'll spend every damn thing they got, and lights gonna be out tomorrow. I ain't even got no damn tissue paper to wipe their ass with, because they want to go into somebody else's store to prove to them that I got it, and spin out. And then a small Black business, um, they want to, bruh, can't you give me a discount? They don't respect their own community. And that kind of leads me into what I want to talk about. And I know, hey, it leads me into what I want to talk about as it relates to pre. Young Dolph was a young man that was building something, and he was doing a darn good job. He made millions of dollars. He got it out the mud. Okay. And unfortunately, because of what Young Dolph was doing, because he dared to be great, you had jealous people that had a history of trying to take him down. Okay. a history of it. All right. And this ain't nothing I'm pulling out of my butt. It's what I hear. That whoever it was that wanted to take him out, these are the same people that's involved. Now, I mean, if it's a lie, that's what I've heard, okay, by the people that would know, okay. So you have his artists that are left behind. They finally take Young Dolph out. You got his artists that are left behind. And I see how they're independent, so they are a threat. And just with what is going on YouTube, I see there are a lot of media companies um, that have pages and that have put personalities on here. And I see a lot of these rap artists, they go to these media companies and they pay them to steer a narrative. That's what's going on YouTube, okay? And so um and Pre is a threat because even though Young Dolph is gone, they thought that it would make his label fold, okay? And his artists are still carrying on now. I've gotten on here and said before, and this ain't no, I mean, this is a fact that you got all of these federal agencies out there, and his artists know more than what they say. Okay, and when I say that, I mean because they're in contact with his family. They know a little bit more about the investigation than a lot of people would know. They've been very quiet about it. And they are supposed to be quiet about it. Are they supposed to get on here and spill their hearts out to a bunch of people that's ready to judge them anyways? People are already judging them and they're not even saying anything. People get mad at them because how come they won't go out there and kill the people that did this to Dolph? And then they'll turn around in the next breath and say, well, they did this to Dolph. A lot of double-minded people. And I see that that's what a lot of people want because a lot of these music labels fear them. They fear the rise of Young Dolph's artists, and it's unfortunate that we still got Black people that are lynching other Black people. They don't want to see these young men make it because they don't want to have to go do federal time because, the feds are out there, they're investigating. And if Pre was to take the bait and put somebody on a mission to go and try and take somebody out, they would all be in jail. Lives would be ruined even more. And I think that's kind of what some of these people who ain't got arrested yet won't because they already know they're going to be arrested. So if they can take Young Dolph's artists down before they are arrested, then they would say, well, Dolph is in the grave, his main artist, because they fear Key Glock. Key Glock reminds them so much of Young Dolph. They go, we killed him, and Key Glock is going to mature more, and he's going to lead that label on. And they put so many people on a mission to include these foreigners that are behind these behind these pages that's been, some of them been hacking. Okay, okay, let me close my mouth on that. Let these folks do their job. Okay. But people fear his artists and then they like to try to get mad at me because I understand what's going on and I don't take the baits because a motherfucker could never control me. I wouldn't give a fuck who they are. Y'all know that pissed me off for somebody to think they could ever bully me into doing what they want me to do. I mean, ever bully me into doing what they would want me to do, right? That makes me mad as hell. Okay? Because I don't try to control nobody and ain't nobody gonna try to control me. Okay? I know for a fact that those young men did not have anything to do with that murder. And the thing that is so sad about it is that a lot of people know what has happened. These media companies don't give a damn. They're trying to make some money. And they're trying to do it by any means necessary to the point that they've gotten themselves messed over. Okay? Because I wouldn't give a damn what country you come from. There's boundaries over here, and the Fed's gonna show you. And a lot of these cuckabug heads that y'all got working with y'all. Okay. Okay. But it's so sad. I think about that situation with And I don't really talk a lot about this, that situation with Fabo Go. And this is the first time I probably talked about it, and it's going to be the last time. Fabo Go had gotten on my page. He had gotten on my page, and I had asked him, I said, "Well, how old are you, young man?" And he said, I believe he said he was 25 or 26. And when he said his age, it's something about, because I have a daughter that's 24, and I got another daughter that's a little bit younger. She's in her 20s, though. Those are kids that are my kids' age. I could be their damn mamas. So when he said that, I don't know. I think that motherly patience automatically kicked in because I have not paid a whole lot of attention to that situation. I just know that we was looking at some stuff before I left my office last night, and one of my investigators said if a lid ain't put on that, I could, we see it getting out of control. Okay. And it's so true because I work with investigators that came from other agencies. Okay. And I hope nobody is putting a battery in that young man's back. I hope, because I haven't really heard anything from his music, but I just know as a 40-something-year-old woman, I understand how emotional kids can be. And I call them kids because they're young enough to be my kids. Okay. But there's no way in the world as a 40-something-year-old woman that I would ever encourage a beef with kids, especially when I know a lot of them are emotional. They don't, you don't ever know what their temperance is. And I don't know their emotional stability because I know a lot of the younger people don't have any. Instead of, I would never promote that. Instead of telling the young man whatever his hurts are, whatever it is, take it and put it into your music. Put that energy into your music, young man, because you can't win trying to take down other people. Don't let somebody put a battery in your back and encourage a beef. I could never do that. Because just like one of my investigators was saying, if somebody don't put a lid on that, that's going to be a problem. And it's unfortunate that we got so many people in our community that encourage this stuff until somebody ends up getting hurt. Okay? It's a sad thing. Somebody should be helping him to redirect whatever it is that's going on. Because I don't see the other young men saying anything. Okay. And I don't necessarily know what has happened. I just know it's a lid that needs to be put on it. He's got something else going on for himself. He's already rapping. He said on my blog he had a lot of love for him still. And he don't want to see anything happen to him. Young man, redirect that energy. I'm telling you this as an older woman. And put that same energy into your music, because when you let people put a battery in your back and encourage a beef, and you looking at them and you constantly want to put something out, when we know, because see, I know firsthand what has gone on because I deal with the people that know. They didn't have anything to do with that, and I think you know that. Redirect that energy and put it into your music, and you won't be able to lose if you do that. See, I'm a woman for real. Okay? And I think that's what our younger people and younger generation is missing. I'm not going to tell him what he's doing is valid, especially when we see it escalating. I can't tell him that. The young man said he's already gone and did some time. Okay? Value your freedom. God has given you a gift. Redirect that energy and put it into your music, because you can't lose when you do that. But I've never known anybody to be able to win by talking about bad about other people. It ain't no winning with that. That's bad karma. And I'm telling you this as a mother. Redirect that energy. If you got a talent, put it into what you got going on and you won't be able to lose. And see, that's what a lot of our younger people are missing. They don't have older people telling them that. They have a lot of people egging them on. Unfortunately, our society is so messed up. They like seeing people go at each other like dogs and fighting to the death of them. And for what? It ain't worth it. You will never hear me say anything bad about Pre. Other Nothing. Other than I don't want them out there spinning because they can't win if they out there spinning. And I know they had nothing to do with this. I think the road that the investigators are on is the right road. And it don't lead back to Pre. And a lot of these people know that. So why are we consistently trying to destroy in our community? Because these young men are saying, I got children. Some of them got children. We care about Dolph, but we understand that the authorities are out there and they doing their damn thing. Why would they go get themselves locked up like some of these other people are getting ready to go away? Okay? And get themselves taken away from their children. Dolph wouldn't want that. Dolph always said, get to the money. Rule number 1, get the money. Rule number 2, don't forget to get the money. So is it a sin for them to be doing what their mentor taught them to do? They didn't have a damn thing to do with this. And some of these motherfuckers know that. Okay? And I think it's a shame before God for people to be trying to be able to pay people. Even that, and they know it. Let me go back to that. They know it because they know that they were involved. Okay? But they fear Key Glock because Key Glock reminds them so much of Dolph because he was up under him more. Key Glock ain't had a damn thing to do with it. They still in competition with that boy so much. We was looking at how Key Glock was showing his pre-ring and then an old motherfucker double his age started showing his ring, still in competition. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. These ones that's double their age ought to be ashamed of their damn self. And it shows the federal agents how much hate that some of these people have for Dolph and how they were so jealous of him that even in death, they still in competition with him. It's a damn shame before God. Retarded, ignorant motherfuckers. And then they had a nerve to call themselves a boss to the point where they steady dissing that boy and got their artists doing it. What kind of world do we live in? That we put people up on pedestals like that and consistently ruining our youth, ruining our younger generation. I reward you if you go out there and do some crazy stuff. I'm smoking on a Dolph pack now. They showing his video and pictures and stuff more, rewarding them for doing crash dummy stuff. And these are the people that we got propped up. But I'm glad it won't be long out here. It won't be long. It's time for the streets to be cleaned up. It is. I think that we've made a mistake because I've supported quite a few of these artists in the past. I didn't know a whole lot about Dolph, but I know damn well in the past I supported Yo Gotti because I had cousins that it was Yo Gotti this, Yo Gotti this, Yo Gotti Yo Gotti this, Yo Gotti that, Yo Gotti everything. Okay. I got a great auntie who is in her 80s that watched this situation so closely. She constantly called me because one of my cousins used to hang out in the club before Yo Gotti and them blew up with Yo Gotti and them in the VIP. And my aunt pays close attention to it. And every breath that comes, she takes, I show hope. And she 80, how old is my Aunt Aura? 85 or 86. I sure hope your God didn't have nothing to do with this. I wonder why he won't stop his people. I love that boy. And she don't even know anything about rap music, but it just goes to show how nobody is hating on Yo Gotti. But what his label has exuded has been nothing but tackiness and evilness. And that's what they're putting out into the atmosphere. Trolling the dead. Because if you a boss, you supposed to be able to stop your people. And if you don't stop them, that means you are encouraging them. And let me just say this. Black youngsters, one of Black youngsters' cousins and I have been best friends since I was 5 years old. I was 5 and she was 7. Joined at the damn hip. So close we call each other cousins because she family. Anytime you've been best friends with somebody since you was 5, that ain't my damn friend. That's my family. Okay? I was always around Black youngsters' great aunts. I never knew Black youngster. I knew Black youngster's mother when she was about 9 or 10. I played with his mother because she would be at her cousin's house. And he smiles just like his mama. He smiles just like she smiled when she was a little girl. Okay? So I know he come from a group of praying women. Okay? A family of praying women, the older women. Although there was a lot of bad luck in their family because a lot of his cousins he never knew was tragically killed before he was ever even born. Okay? It seems like they was always being tragically killed. I was around that because as I said, that was my best friend. But I think it's a shame that Black youngster, and I see Black youngster always talk about keep God first. So I know at the core, because Black youngster's mom, when she was about 10 years old, she had a real nurturing spirit. I didn't see her no more after she was about 11 or 12. So I know at the core of his foundation, there has to be some God. But somehow the evil, because I look at Black youngster, and it's a whole lot of people share the same sentiment because law enforcement watching closely. There's a lot of evilness there at this point. But it is being encouraged, and Black youngsters don't understand he's being set up to take the fall. Okay? At Gotti's core, I just believe, and I don't know a lot about Gotti, but just from what I can see, and I could be wrong, that he ain't got no feelings about nothing. He making a fool out of them folks on his label. And he's leading them into a burning house. I'm going to reward you for doing my dirt. And I got issues with that. And I could be wrong. But that's just what I feel. It's all about making it to the top, and he didn't understand that he and young Dolph could have coexisted together. I think a lot of people didn't want that. And with him being a boss, even if he didn't care about young Dolph, any real boss would say, well, me and him we didn't see eye to eye, but I don't wish death on nobody. Now that's what a person with human feelings would do. People talk about young Dolph shouldn't have said this, and that about Yo Gotti. Young Dolph's life was attempted 2 times that we know of, and it came out of Yo Gotti's camp. Why wouldn't he be mad at them? Now, I don't know if that situation about Black youngster's brother is true. I don't even want to believe that because according to my best friend, They don't believe that that happened, but I don't know. Okay, it could be that she don't know the truth. But if it's any truth to it, that he sent his brother to do something to Dolph allegedly, and something happened to his brother, unfortunately, because Dolph's people protected him. If he sent his brother to do that, and I can't wrap my psyche around that, so I don't want to believe that myself. But if that happened, who should he be mad at? Not Dolph. See, a lot of times people like to outsource their anger instead of looking at themselves if that happened, because who would be to blame for that? Okay. So people fear paper right, and I said that to say this with Black Youngster. I think at the core of Black youngsters, at his core, I don't think he's a cold hearted person. And I got to be real about that. I think he's got a battery in his back by a real cold hearted person that don't give a damn about nobody but themselves. And I got to keep it real. And I think it's so unfortunate and it's extremely hurtful, because I never wanted to see any would want to see anything that has gotten this out of control, and it's gonna get worse. And people are saying, well, the people are picking, I guess they, as the fad is, they choosing sides instead of somebody stepping up and trying to put a lid on this shit and said, dog, what you doing ain't right. That man dead. What your folks doing ain't right. But we ain't got no righteous people no more. And so people are trying with their hardest to take Pre down, because even the people with these media companies that's got some of these whatever they got going on, Pre doing everything independently, they fear the rise of them, because that's going to continue what Young Dolph was doing, and that's cutting the middleman out. And you got Black people that are working to continuously take down people that could help um, to start liberation as it relates to true independence, because the record industry is used to making slaves, and Young Dolph didn't want that for his artists, and they got Daddy O. Daddy O was there with Dolph, so he know the game, so he's able to help to continuously guide those young men, and they fear that. They fear that. If I had thought that, if I had heard from anybody that was reliable, I'd be around these people, that those young men was involved. Number one, you might hear me say, "Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was any shadiness, if it was any maybes or anything. I would not be as supportive, because as y'all see, I don't rock like that. Okay, but what's going on now is they're trying to destroy these young men because they fear their rise, and they're gonna start a movement, and God ain't gonna let them do it. I'm talking about these other motherfuckers that's trying to stop them. God ain't gonna let it happen, because they fear they're gonna start a movement that's gonna truly help to liberate other young artists. That movement that Young Dolph and Daddy O had started. Independence. Okay? And it's sad when other people can get with Black people, because it's us that they want to keep in bondage. And you have other Black people, just like they did back in the slavery days. Okay? When slavery was legal. It's just legal in another way now. But you have other Negroes working just as hard to keep other black people in bondage, and that's got to stop within our community. It's got to stop because God ain't gonna let it happen. As I was saying, y'all excuse me, I got a little cold. I always have summer colds. As I was saying, with the young man that used to be friends with Key Lock and them, I don't know how out of control that situation is, but people can agree to disagree and they can part and go on. But there's no way in hell that I'm ever going to promote young men going at each other's necks. Because as my investigator was sitting there looking last night, that man worked for the DEA for 31 years before he retired. He said if somebody don't put a lid on that, that's gonna be that's a problem already. Somebody need to put a lid on it. How come some of those OGs ain't doing it? It's a shame before God how we're helping to lead our young people into burning houses and we're encouraging and egging it on. I could never do it. You'll never see it come from my channel because I don't know what's going on with that. But if that young man got something going on and he's trying to promote something himself, hey, I can support that. But I would never support anybody trying to take down anybody else. And that's why when he was on my page for a minute, and I had folks getting mad. That was mad that I was telling that young man. I hope, one day y'all can personally talk about that and you do your thing and they do theirs. Don't let people play. Don't let people do that. I had motherfuckers getting on my live mad. Folks sending me, people mad. It was all good though, because it ain't gonna change. I'm a little bit more patient with them when they're that young, because I don't know what kind of guidance that they've had. But I do know that those generations are our future, and there's no way in hell that I would ever take part in ruining that generation. That is the problem now. You got too many older people that are ruining a generation to come. And so pre is going to go up. I pray for them constantly. I pray for those young men. I do. I think they got great music. It's a damn shame when their boss has been taken out and you still got the people who people say helped to took him out still trying to compete with him, allegedly. There has to be a renewal of the mind with our people. I went on longer than I wanted to go on because I could really go on with this because I'm really passionate about this, and I kind of talked about a little bit of everything. And I know I titled it pre, but I kind of talked about a little bit of everything because our people need some repair. Nobody else lets ain't nobody gonna let nobody in the black community play them against their community. You're gonna always be an outsider. But we usher people in, show them our formula, and let them hijack our community and then help them to take out any black person that learns the recipe. And they have the nerve to think that God is going to let them prosper. It just can't happen. That's not the laws of the earth. It can't happen like that. God ain't gonna let it happen. So when they get through with all these medias and shit, Pre ain't had nothing to do with Dolph's death. I blame the people that do. I direct that energy to the people that did. Okay. And I want to see these young men go up. They're young African American men. And I wouldn't give a fuck what nobody else thought or think. I got a right to feel how I want to feel. But as far as them not having anything to do with it, that ain't what I feel. That's what I know. They ain't had nothing to do with Young Dolph's death. Okay. But anyways, you guys, hit the like button. I'm gonna cut this off because I did 40 minutes. And I wasn't intending to do but 20. But as y'all go out, please hit the like button, share the video. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I definitely appreciate you guys so much. I will be on tonight. Today is a rest day. I'm taking to recuperate. Okay. Um, so I will be on tonight, later tonight. I want y'all to have a good day. If you at work, y'all, you know, have a good day at work. And if you're out in the street, be safe, okay? Because the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And he out there. He in these streets. But you use the power that God has given you. Okay? Talk with you guys later.